Well, like many people, I was shocked when an announcement was published that the current government had forgiven him, giving him a state pardon. And I consulted some lawyers, and they agreed with me that he was not convicted of any crime. His properties were seized. Now, I give you a background to that. There was an allegation that he acquired properties corruptly. That was put on trial. That with a panel. The panel asked him a question. Chief, how many bank accounts do you have abroad? And he said to them, before I came here, there were allegations published in the press that I was going to be confronted with masses of bank accounts I have abroad. I really thought when I came now that you would say, here is the evidence, you are guilty, or what do you have to say? Now you're asking me how many I have abroad, which, number one, suggests that I do have abroad. Now, if I say to you I don't have, you're going to say, what? You're lying, or what? So confront me, since you have been telling the press, leaking to the press, that I was going to be confronted with this evidence. Now, he wasn't. And in their report, they said Chief Enahoro refused to cooperate with the panel. That was all that was said. The government did not publish that. The government instead published a white paper in which it said Chief Enahoro was indicted. He couldn't say he was convicted because the panel is not a court. He said he was indicted. And on that basis, properties were seized. Well, an indictment is not a conviction. And then you come years later, and someone comes along years later and says, he's given a state pardon. And they say, you can't state pardon anybody just like that, and suggest that the person went to his grave guilty of some crime. If you have a case against this man, when did you discover that he was convicted? They made a mistake. The truth is that there was an appeal by the governor of Edo State to the president or the presidency that Ambrose Ali should be given state pardon. He was ill, badly. He was badly treated himself. A contractor, as I understand it, had offered him a dash, as we would say in Nigeria. He refused it, but the contractor who did a road job was persistent. So Ambrose Ali said, give it to my political party, the UPN, led by Chief Awolowo. He didn't receive the money himself. And then when the panel examined it, they said he should have directed the contractor to return the money to government. And now he was accused of misusing the government fund. And you know, it was the time of guess who, presidency or the leadership of the current president, when all sorts of funny sentences were pronounced. Ali was jailed 100 years. The person who jailed him 100 years won't be alive to witness whether it was carried out or not. He was jailed 100 years. He was diabetic. He had poor sight. Eventually, he was allowed to leave hospital. He didn't live long after that, and he passed away. His family, quite rightly, and his people have been demanding that he should be given a pardon because the conviction was wrong from their point of view. that he did not receive the money. Now, I think somewhere along the way, some generous person decided that they will add Chief Enahoro as well, for whatever reason, publicity or maybe accidental. Well, we are saying, and when I say we, I mean the family, we are saying that he was not convicted of any crime. And it is unkind that a man who did so much, who struggled so much in this country for Nigeria, should be, that the last you will remember of him is that he was corrupt, that he corruptly got some properties which were seized. One of the properties, incidentally, now belongs to a former head of state. It's a mess. But the first thing that my side of the family, what we are saying is, don't associate him with corruption. Don't say you have forgiven him for a crime he did not commit. That's all. As for the property does, well, that's all right. The children, and when I say children, I mean grown-ups. They're not 18-year-old, because when we say children, maybe we think we are talking of 18, 17-year-old. No. They are fully grown men, grandparents, one of them. They want the properties, quite rightly. And they have, one of them has put forward a statement welcoming President Buhari, his statement. Fine. They're entitled to do what they can to retrieve the property. But we don't want, when I say we, those of us who are not involved in that aspect, we don't want the legacy of my brother to be that he went to his grave a convicted corrupt man. He didn't. And he had opportunities to talk to presidents. He did see one president who offered him a generous leeway. Say, instead of talking about the legal seizure of his property, offered him a chance to nominate 5 people for political appointment. He refused. I myself, I was involved in a procedure that would have given him a chance to talk to a former president when he was still president. And he refused the chance because he said he will not plead for what he did not do. That's where we are.